Hi everyone, this is Bella and I'm going to show you a short overview of how you can use Genetic Matrix if you have signed up for the Pro plan. So once you have an account and you've signed up, you're going to have something called My Hub. And you want to go there. And if you're completely new and you have no charts, you are going to want to create a chart. So add a new person, animal, and plant. So we pretend somebody is called Ria. And then birth date, time. Then you're going to let it calculate the UTC time, and you have your chart. So what it's going to show is the foundation quantum chart. This is the same as the free chart, but it has more keywords that have to do especially with the variables. You're also going to see that when you have the Pro plan, when you hover over the gates, you're going to have all the information about the gate, the line, the color, the tone, and the base, and also the planet, which planet you're clicking on. So that's a good chart. Then in this drop-down menu, I also like to look at some of the return charts. So if somebody is around 29, you probably want to look at the first Saturn return. Around 60, the second Saturn return. You can look at the Chiron return if somebody's around 50. And also the Uranus opposition is something that you might want to look at. And you can see here, those are the important ones that are going to be shown here. So this is a life cycle, and there are two different versions. If somebody's quite young, you want to use life cycle 1, and you're going to see the timeline here of the person. So 29 years old, 44 years old, 50 years old, and 84. And that is the first Saturn return, the Uranus opposition, and the Chiron return. And here you're going to have the person is emotional manifester, and then cross of dedication, 5-1. This is all the time. This is always going to be the design. However, there is a kind of overlay for each one of the returns. So there's an overlay of the 5-1 cross of individualism, and then for the Uranus opposition, the 3-5 cross of explanation, and then the 6-2 cross of confrontation. Then if you do life cycle 2, you're going to see that it starts with the Uranus opposition and it has the second Saturn return instead. If you want to download any of these charts, you just click on PDF and then it pops up on the screen and you can save it anywhere on your computer. So let's go back to the foundation chart and then we look at the next drop-down menu. So here you can look at just the personality, just the design. There's something called advanced quantum. So this has everything with the line, the color, the tone, and the base. And this also, you can look at this as the magic square, the color resonances. If you have this one, this is something that in the more advanced human design, we look at with the keynotes. They're cool. And then you also have in this, you have the design and the personality. And then this is the shadow connected to open centers. I don't use this a lot because it's just a lot of shadows, but that can be fun. Here you have a birth range. If you don't know what time somebody's born, you're going to be able to look at that day from midnight to here 9 p.m. So you have all the possibilities and you can see how it changes. So this is going to have open circle center all the time. And what changes in terms of the centers seem to be nothing. So in this case, it doesn't really matter. What's going to change is the moon. So we have gate 51 and 58. And then if we look here, we're going to have gate 54 and gate 47. So the moon is what changes. And of course, we probably are going to change the profile too. Yeah, so you see the profile is going to change depending on the time, but the actual body graph doesn't change a lot. And then here you have the square, even more detailed. And the other thing you might want to use for sure is the Gene Keys. If you just want to look at something fast and you don't want to go to the Gene Key website, you can have it here, and you also have the body graph with it. So this is quite helpful. And then you can look at groups, like what are you adding to big groups with OC16. And then these are amalgamated, so they all have a lot of different things in them. So you can play with them too, but it means that they have more than one chart in one PDF. So here you see that you have the lines, the energy families, the incarnation quarters on the bottom, then you have the quantum astro, and you have the natal wheel, and then here you have like a list over the HD stuff. And here, just showing you one more thing. And here you have the shadow one together with some of those other things. And maybe the mandala as well can be interesting for you to look at. So here you're going to see everything in the wheel, which allows you to see like where in the year and what signs and everything do you have a lot of activations. And it also shows the quarters on the sides. So that is for human design. I mean, you can just play with this one and see what you like. Then the other important thing, and this is the chart that you need when we do chart readings or when we speak about the astro wheel that has design and personality. It's the first one that comes up after foundation, and you don't change anything in the second drop down. And then it's going to have all the planets in the moment of birth and all the planets 3 months before the design, and it's going to show them inside of the wheel where you have both the gates and the signs, and then the houses, of course. And it also has this that is showing the aspects that we don't use that much. We are more looking at astrology as one more way of explaining the gates in terms of the modality, if it's cardinal, if it's fixed, if it's mutable, and the element, if it's water or fire or earth or air, and if it's masculine or feminine. So the other one that we're using quite a lot is the quantum astro that I mentioned in the amalgamated chart. So here you're going to have the body graph, you're going to have the gates as usual, but you're also going to see what sign they're in, what house they're in. And then you have this little table up here that shows the sun sign, the ascendant, and the midheaven, both for personality and design. You have the Chinese zodiac, you have the element of the Chinese zodiac, and then here you just have a little overview of the design, and here you have a list of the channels. So this one is also quite cool. This one, sometimes we use this view for readings instead of the normal one because it just has more, but it also has what you have in the foundation chart. And here is just a little bit more. You could go in to look at asteroids. So if you're in the inner circle, if you have the vault, there's going to be some webinars about the asteroids. So then it can be cool to be able to see at least the ones that are more well-known: Ceres, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta. So then you have that here as well. And then the fixed stars, if for any reason you want that, you have a similar layout for that. I don't personally like that it's filled into the chart because, as we know, the body graph is really created by the 26 activations that Ra showed us. So I wouldn't necessarily show them inside of the chart. They are very much developing everything all the time. So I would just go back in here from time to time to see what's new. This one is cool too. I like this one. So that's a little overview of what you need. And you could, of course, even go and play with the sidereal calendar and all that. But really, we use the tropical. We use Placidus, which is in settings on the first page where you're going to be able to choose the house system. We do like Placidus. And then here you can actually change the chart styles. That's quite new as well. It doesn't really matter, the styles, right? You can see the aura and things like that. But with what I just showed you, you have more than enough. The 3 charts that we always like people to have is, of course, the foundation chart, which is the first one, foundation quantum. And then it is the HD natal chart, which is also the first to come up, natal quantum. And then here, it is cool to see this one, quantum astro. And then the 4th one, if you are a little lazy and you don't want to go to the Gene Key website, well, then you do the Gene Keys here, and you actually have the design as well. I'm just going to show you, when you push PDF, don't push many times. It'll take a little bit of time. Yeah, it shows. Then you have this chart view. It comes up with just a weird name. So that's when you want to push here to download, and then it's going to pop up and you're going to be able to choose where you want to save it on your computer and also what you want to name it. So that is an overview over genetic matrix, and it's very much worth it to have the pro plan. So here I'm just showing you the different plans. You have the starter, which is only just the basic. Then you have the $4 that has a little bit of things. And then you have the advanced that has a little bit more. But everything that I basically showed you is here in the pro plan. So here you can pay monthly and it's only $12.95, which is very, very cheap. And it's even cheaper if you do the whole year. But you could also just do it for a day, download all the charts, your family's charts, anything that you feel like you want, and then you're done. So it's worth it to do the pro plan. Yay. Thank you. Bye.